Hey guys, Manoj here. WhatsApp. So the world is turning upside down for WhatsApp in the recent week, right? Sure, you all are aware about this new privacy policy that WhatsApp has brought to the table, and people are upset about it, man. We people are upset about their data being used for different purposes. As a matter of fact, looking at this WhatsApp privacy policy here, so WhatsApp cares about your privacy. That's what they are saying in this privacy policy is the first line. And then they say WhatsApp's privacy policy describes our information, including message practices, including the types of information we receive and collect from you. So basically, this word itself says they collect from you and how we use this and share this information. So they basically collect and share this information. These two are the words that are hit hard with to our users of WhatsApp. So you agree to our data practices. Again, one more word, agree to our data practices, including the collection, use, processing, sharing of your information as described in our privacy policy. So people are not really happy about this new privacy policy from WhatsApp, which is why they're kind of looking out for different messaging apps out there. So two of those messaging apps which people have reached out the most are Signal and Telegram, as you know it. Signal obviously getting a huge boost after Elon Musk endorsed Signal of being the most private messaging app out there with its open source community and all that. So people are moving out, and WhatsApp. If you are working in WhatsApp, you should be tensed at this point because your users are leaving. As a matter of fact, speaking of WhatsApp users, let's see the number of users of WhatsApp. Looking at this chart, right? India is at the top of this list with 340 million users of WhatsApp, and Brazil is at 99 million users. So India, we already have a 1.3 billion users, 1.3 billion people in India, out of which 340 million are already using WhatsApp. So India is a huge user base for WhatsApp, and most of the people in India, they are actually switching to other messaging platform. So what WhatsApp did is they went to Twitter. So this is WhatsApp's official page in Twitter, and they actually gave out an infograph. So they are actually trying to control the damage that is happening because of this new privacy backlash that has happened. So let's look at this infograph that WhatsApp has put out. So they are saying WhatsApp cannot see your private messages or hear your calls, and neither can Facebook. That's the first thing that they are giving. They're giving a banner for it. And WhatsApp does not keep logs of who everyone is messaging or calling. Okay. So WhatsApp cannot see your shared location, and neither can Facebook. I'm sure this also applies to the sharing of live location. WhatsApp does not share your contacts with Facebook. Okay. So no contact sharing. Here they're saying WhatsApp groups remain private. So the information about the group and the information inside the group, they're not going to be shared to anybody, is what they are claiming here. You can set your messages to disappear, of course, and you can download your data. Whatever data is there, you can download. This is the infograph that WhatsApp has put out by reaching out to Twitter to control the damage. So we have an article here which is essentially talking about WhatsApp in damage control mode after privacy policy. See, if some company enters the damage control mode, there has to be some damage behind the scenes, right? Without the damage, why would they go into this kind of this is essentially panic mode, where companies just try to put out information which is going to reduce the damage that has been caused due to various reasons. So WhatsApp has actually issued new information clarifying its latest privacy policy changes, which people are upset about. The platform claims that the policy update does not affect private messages. In latest statements, however, it is actually confusing. If you go and look back at this infograph, so essentially what they're saying is that your data is not being shared, and what they are claiming is data is shared only with the businesses. So looking at if you look at here carefully, in this terms of service, it's really hard to read this much of terms of service, but essentially if I want to break it to you down, they said your information may be shared to the business users of WhatsApp, but not to some other companies, but not to Facebook. But their privacy policy, if you read the fine print inside, there is a confusion where they are mentioning your data as well as business users' data are being shared. So they're not explicitly saying your data will be shared only with the business users. They're saying your data and along with the business users' data, both will be shared to possibly Facebook and other subsidiaries to analyze your information. Basically, it's gonna be shared. So this has led to a lot of confusion between the users. Whatever the infograph that they have put in Twitter, it's not matching with what is there in privacy policy, and all this confusion is happening. So if you look carefully, see here, WhatsApp currently shares certain categories of information with Facebook companies. The information we share with other Facebook companies includes your account registration information such as your phone number, transaction data, service related information on how you interact with others when using our services, mobile device information, your IP address. So everything, so the information we collect or obtained upon notice to you or based on your consent. So you have actually clicked the agree button, right? So all this information, it could be shared to Facebook and other Facebook companies. The real problem was the mismatch between what was told to us and what is printed in this fine print. So they need to update this fine print. So we thought they are going to update this privacy policy in the fine print, but we have another news coming where WhatsApp has actually delayed updated privacy policy after confusing users. So this poses even more questions about why there is such a delay in updating a privacy policy, and where you just pushed out the infograph very easily. So when was this pushed out? Let's see the date when this was pushed out. They pushed it out in January 12th. So after that, they said our privacy policy update does not affect the privacy of your messages with friends or family. Learn more about how we protect your data. And they're saying all this, and they're saying thank you for everyone who reached out. We're still working to counter any confusion communication. So they're saying that they are going to update this policy, but actually they have actually delayed updating this privacy policy as per this article in Indian Express. So let's see a little bit here. WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted, meaning only a messenger's sender and recipient can read it, and those messages are not stored on Facebook servers. But WhatsApp is also pushing aggressively into messaging for businesses. The updated privacy policy was intended to alert users that some businesses would soon be using Facebook-owned services to store messages with customers. Facebook has said that it will not access those messages for any type of ad targeting. But language in the updated terms of service concerned many users who worried that Facebook would suddenly see their private messages. So we still don't have an updated privacy policy, which is just kind of concerning to few people. So yeah, looking at Android Google Play Store here, right off the bat you see Signal has reached on top of the list, along with MX, Takatak and Moj. Okay. Isn't this the app that had those weird advertisements on Facebook? Anyway, and Telegram is reaching there. WhatsApp is WhatsApp. It's way down there. So it's definitely concerning for WhatsApp, which is the reason why they have put the infograph out here. It's funny that they had to reach Twitter to put out this infograph out there. Anyway, so Signal is running strong, always at the top of the list. Even in the iOS App Store, it is at the top of the list. So let's see what Signal has to say on Twitter. So Signal is saying we are still working as quickly as possible. So Signal had this surge of users, right? So many users tried to register newly to Signal. So their servers actually didn't cope up with the number of registrations that were coming. So they were actually trying to give us information that, hey, we are trying to cope up with this kind of load. This is the first time that they're receiving it. Basically skyrocketed. Even their stock skyrocketed. So Signal is experiencing technical difficulties. We're working too hard to just restore our services as quickly as possible. You see these 4-5 tweets they have put, which are essentially saying that their services are kind of down because of this kind of load coming to Signal, and they have reached almost 418,000 followers on Twitter as well. So Signal messaging app, why people went to Signal? One is because of Elon Musk's endorsement. So there are two kinds of people right now. One kind is just onto Signal's train because Elon Musk said so, and the other people are really concerned about their privacy and this new updated terms and conditions. See, everything happened at the right time for Signal. WhatsApp releasing a privacy policy, Elon Musk becoming the world's richest man, Tesla becoming, the kind of overprice that it is today, and at the same day, Elon Musk actually commented to use Signal. We got his endorsement. So all of this actually happened at the same time, which boosted Signal and skyrocketed its stock. And then lots of millions of people just abandoning abandoning WhatsApp and then jumping into the Signal train. So if you look at this, you speak freely, Signal. So CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, he says, I trust Signal because it's well built, but more importantly because of how it's built. Open sourced, peer reviewed, and funded entirely by grants and donations. A refreshing model for how critical services should be built. So Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, saying that because this is open source, peer reviewed, and it is funded and donated, and that's how Signal is built. So there is a lot of trust going on here. So open source, we actually saw this coming. Open source software ruling the world just because of the fact that there is no something going on behind the scenes, because you can actually see the code. Speaking of open source, Signal is open sourced, as it is claiming. So I just went ahead in GitHub and opened Signal's repository here. So we actually have these 4 pinned repositories, which are probably the most popular repositories by Signal: Signal Android, Signal Desktop, Signal iOS, and Signal Server. So if you can actually go inside these repositories and actually see the code, because it's open source, right? So there is nothing pesky going on here, because everybody can see this code. And we actually saw this similar situation with if you are in the Android world for some time, you might have tried a custom ROM to install in your Android phone. So there was a group called XDA developers who are actually the original pioneers of CyanogenMod. They have a lot of custom ROMs and they are completely open sourced. So there's a lot of trust going on because everything is public. There's no hidden aspects of sharing your data or whatever it is. So Signal is share without insecurity. It's completely encrypted, privacy-centered messaging app, which is why people are liking to move towards Signal. No ads, no trackers, and no kidding. So there are no ads. First of all, they don't collect any data. So what's the point of selling your data and try to target ads with other platforms? So there's nothing going on. So this kind of trust factor has led Signal to boom in this world where people are trying to move away from WhatsApp. So speaking of Signal, there's one more app, Telegram, got a lot of attention, sneaked in between Signal and WhatsApp war. Telegram has also benefited a lot. We have a report with Telegram gaining almost 25 million new users in just 3 days after WhatsApp's privacy policy changed. So Telegram equally benefited with this kind of things going on with WhatsApp and the privacy-centered Signal. Speaking of Telegram, if you haven't joined our group of MSK Web Development, I highly suggest you to join this group. So this group is only for self-help, and we are trying to do some fun activities and learn web development in our group. So do join this group, and we will have fun and learn together in the meantime. Okay, I'll leave the link in the comment section below to join this group. Anyway, speaking of Telegram, 25 million new users. India has been a very, very big contributor for Telegram. The reason why I liked Telegram before is because this was the only app that had a desktop app, it had a mobile app, it had a web app, everything it had. I'm talking about like 3, 4, 5 years back. This was the only app that had all those things. So that was the reason why I jumped into Telegram. But after that, this has grown a lot more than that. there are so many bots inside, and there is so much going on. And their terms of service is not as aggressive as WhatsApp. That's the reason why Telegram has got equal attention as Signal, and you can see the numbers: 25 million new users in just 3 days. That's a crazy number. But WhatsApp has it has more than 1 billion users, so it's going to take a while for users to move. But the question is WhatsApp going to come with new terms and service, and then make the users stay where they are, gain the trust once again, and climb the ladder back up? I never remembered a time when WhatsApp was down this much in the App Store top free apps. Even on iOS top free apps, I always saw WhatsApp in the first 5 positions here. So this is kind of concerning for WhatsApp, and the damage control is on. Signal and Telegram seeing huge waves of new users. Like I said, Signal actually tweeted specifying Indian flag here, saying, look at what you've done. Actually, they have tweeted along with this, they have also tweeted some more saying putting different flags here. But India looks like it has been a major contributor, because we are so many people who are trying to migrate. And this was the endorsement from Elon Musk himself. And Signal said that verification codes are currently delayed across several providers because so many new people are trying to join Signal right now. We can barely register our excitement, let alone users. So we are working with carriers to resolve this as quickly as possible. Hang in there. So this is what they are saying. A lot of things are happening. So we never see whatever we thought are not going to happen are happening right in front of our eyes. 2020 was a major lockdown. 2021 started. Elon Musk became the world's richest man in no time. WhatsApp came down. I don't know what else are we going to see. Anyway, that was WhatsApp. I'll see you guys in the next video.